Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 1.48% to 4186. Ethereum up 2.12% to 3004. It was really interesting yesterday. Everybody was expecting a massive sell-off, and what happened? We'll get into this in this episode. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explain the smart money mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Thank you for being a part of our globally extended family. I very much appreciate you being here. What we've just done is gone on a bit of a rampage through the markets to try and understand how things are faring up. This can serve as a boilerplate for you to look back at any particular episode and see how minute sectors were going. It's very, very valuable information to have. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as our NFTs, the tax software I use, the charting software I use, and the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. As a community, we focus on maintaining positive excellence, and it's all about inner and outer peace. Decreasing the amount of stress in your life is really, really important, and increasing the amount of gratitude and happiness is also equally important. Money is a byproduct of doing the right things. I just wanted to give you an update. Opportunities reset daily, and Let's Run the Numbers are coming out in KenFTs soon. I wanted to provide some key news because there's a number of things that have happened in the crypto market that I wanted to share with you. Doge rallied as Elon acquires Twitter for $44 billion. On you, Elon. ETH upgrade, the merge. Ape dominating NFTs, April 30th Metaverse event. Just keep this in mind. What we will see here is more and more attention going into Ape. There's a lot of hype around Ape at the moment, and Ape has taken a lot of money out of Man, San, Axie, and other metaverse plays, so keep that one in mind. Rose has been listed on Coinbase. ADA's increasing its block size by 10%. Nearly $1 billion of Matic has been burnt since the EIP 1559 upgrade on the Polygon mainnet in January. In the UAE, Abu Dhabi, crypto exchange Kraken obtains a crypto operations license. And one really fascinating thing, even though volumes have been really, really low, Binance records $5.54 trillion in Q1 2022 compared with $5.09 trillion of exchange traded volume in Q1 2021. That was just before that crash. If you think about that, it's showing adoption is spreading. Countries outside the US, the UK, are actually adopting crypto exchanges. They're creating crypto-friendly regulations, and they're going to see a massive inflow of funds. And you can see there's trillions and trillions of dollars worth of funds flowing around the crypto market. The US and other advanced economies better get their act together or they'll lose their dominant status. This is something that people are not paying enough attention to. And by people, I mean people in the government. As crypto technical analysts, we scientifically track investor attention, which is measured through price. Price is reality. We don't care about promises. We care about reality. What is the actual crypto doing right now? So therefore, we must mark up the chart with the CTKS method, which is just specifically designed to capture exponential price action. And well done to everyone yesterday. If a pond starts with 0 algae growth and the pond will be completely covered in 30 days, but the algae is doubling every day, it will cover the half of the pond on the 29th day, not the 15th. That's exponential price action. Outside trends is the next thing we look at, checking the stock markets, world events, collecting probabilities. Then we go inside the crypto market, understanding that we need to find the market's focus. For example, Ape is quite hot right now. Doge has a news spike. That's why I showed you the news earlier. And the concept is opportunities are resetting daily. When we looked at the stock market and the crypto market yesterday, everyone was basically saying, it's the end of the world, just pack up and go home. And we were saying, oh, not quite. And I'll go through the reasons why that's the case. Then, once we've looked through the crypto market, we have to have the right mental attitude. We must master our emotional control. Professionals are not emotional. They're in control. They're not subject to self-sabotage and self-doubt. They have a specific set of rules that they follow. They just follow the rules. And then we get into the trigger section of buying and selling. What actually happens? A lot of people, when they enter the crypto market, they just want to buy and sell. And because they're caught up in emotion, they tend to go all in or all out. Like a light switch. When you become professional, it's not about light switching anything. It's about becoming a dimmer. You go on gradually buying at levels of support, and you come out of the particular trade by selling at levels of resistance. But that's why you must mark up your chart correctly, or else you won't know where those lines are. An exponential price action is just like that pond growth. The lines tell you where it is. As a former lecturer in first and second year statistics, I taught many thousands of students first and second year stats, and what I noticed is that often people want to get up to the top building, do all the fun stuff, but they don't have the foundations. So that's why I say that there's a knowledge staircase that we must walk up step by step by step by step. If you miss a step, you create holes in your knowledge. I've seen thousands of students create holes in their knowledge. What I exist to do is to plug up those holes, to get everything done in such a way that you have a really solid foundation to walk up the stairs. And when we look at crypto technical analysts, they're really up high. They've done their foundations, they've done the trend, they understand the external markets, they understand how to look at the crypto market, they understand how to have the right philosophy towards money, and believe me, it really matters. And then they buy and sell. Most people getting into the crypto market think it's just about buying and selling. They want to go to the top floor straight away, and they wonder why they just fall down, because they don't have all of these foundations. One thing that you should always do in anything that you're actually learning, go slow to go fast. It applies in work, it applies in everything, but especially in learning. If you miss a step, you'll have a gap in your knowledge. You'll ask questions that others know how to answer. Now, how do they know how to answer? And some people don't know how to answer. It's just simply missing a step. Just go back if something is unclear. Build strong foundations. Everybody wants to get up and enjoy the view, but the truth is you have to work to get there. And we definitely live in a world where people want to get promoted on their first day of a new job. They say, oh, I just got the job. I want to be CEO. Where's my promotion? They want to go from down here all the way to up here. It doesn't happen. It never happens in life. You have to pay the price of progress. Let's look into the markets and see what's cooking. We know the cryptocurrencies is a really tiny market, under 2 trillion at the moment, comparative to the stock market and the bond market, which are very large markets. We know the crypto is the next evolution of the internet 3.0, where you can own the protocols that actually operate the internet of money. It's unbelievable what Web 3.0 will create, and we're really early. We've got decades and decades to play out. A lot of people say, oh, I missed Bitcoin at under $1, so therefore I won't get into the crypto market. I'm going to show you ways of thinking that's absolutely unimportant. That's like saying, I want to buy Amazon stock, or I want to buy Microsoft stock, but I didn't get it when it listed, so I'm not going to participate. That's crazy. There's always capability for upward progression, especially in well-run companies. And when we look at the crypto market, crypto adoption is only just starting. The government tried to kill the internet. It didn't do a very good job of it, did it? And it's trying to kill crypto. It tries to kill everything. It tried to kill automobiles. It tried to kill radio. And did definitely try to kill electricity. And these things, people say, what are you talking about, Ken? Well, you know, automobiles, they just open it with loving arms. All those horse and buggy manufacturers said, oh yeah, cars, we really want those to replace and kill our industry. And the inventor of the radio, when he explained that you could hear over airwaves what people were talking about when they could be 1,000 kilometers away or 1,000 miles away, they said, take this guy out of here, he's a nut, he belongs in a psychiatric facility. Just think about it. All of these major innovations, inventions were first initially killed by the governments, by the existing players. Did it stop them? No. Will it ever stop things like crypto and what comes next? Because there will be things that come next. Will it stop them? No. It just creates enormous opportunities for people like us because we're in the market. About 12 hours ago, I put forward this little tweet on Twitter. I said the VIX is spiking up, and I was saying about time. It's taken 17 days for the markets to do a healthy correction, get into healthy correction territory. And now what happens when the markets do not healthily correct? We can see big downside movements. Now what actually happened? And thank you everybody so much for all the people that actually responded to this. We can see here that we hit that line of resistance on the VIX, and the VIX then plummeted. What does this actually mean? If you're looking at this for the first time, you may say, Ken, VIX? What's that? It's the fear gauge of the stock market. And when we see the fear gauge spiking like this, you know it's really unhealthy. The markets are selling off. Now, what happened when it actually started to come down? When the VIX started to come down, what did the Nasdaq do? It rallied. And we know that there's a strong correlation at the moment between Bitcoin and the Nasdaq. So what happened to Bitcoin? It rallied as well. So 12 hours ago, I put that tweet out to try and help people to understand this is actually good. This is a natural thing. And the VIX has spiked up very severely. And I used to love trading the VIX. It's just a crazy instrument. And it's so volatile. It's exponential by nature. You can see exponential. This is exponential. And it absolutely blows off and then decays. It explodes and implodes, explodes, implodes all the time. We would expect it to implode down to around the 24 level. We have to see what it does then, but this is expected. What we're actually seeing, many people were saying, Ken, the markets are going to sell off. Bitcoin is going to 10,000. No, it's going to $0. It's no intrinsic value at all. And then the markets, they're all going to tank. Everything is going down. It's game over. When the VIX was spiking, gold was coming down. When the markets actually destroy themselves, we see rallies in gold. We see rallies in bond prices. This is just a normal reaction. Bond prices are significantly oversold. They're so oversold, the bond market hasn't seen this kind of action ever. It's really strange action, and it's been putting question marks above people's heads that are professional investors and traders for quite a while now. We're waiting for the markets to settle down. They're just too frothy at the moment. But it should be noted that gold is in a long-term uptrend. We would expect this to wave around. You can see these down movements like this. So just bear that in mind. We can see the US dollar currency index just going for it at the moment. That's because there's so much volatility inherent in the market. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that uncertainty is global. So it's just the DXY is attracting a lot of funds into it. But we also know that sharp angles reverse, And what we see is just such a powerful upward progression. These things must retrace. Like I was talking 17 days ago about the VIX, it's got overextended. It's not healthy. It's not doing the right thing. We need a spike up. And that actually creates a lot of opportunities. But why do I think the markets are healthy? That's a very, very important question. The US is one of the leading economies in the world, and it has most of the stock market value. In Q1 of 2022, we can see it's in expansion territory. This is all about inflationary pressures being high. We're going to see a lot of companies come out with their earnings, and they're going to beat estimates. And it shows that the underpinning economy is very strong. It would be very, very different if the US was down in contraction. Then we would actually point another story, but that is not the case. And when we look towards Q1 2022 earnings beat data, 80% of these companies have beat the estimate. The consensus, it's fantastic. What you've seen is a lot of upward progression. Very, very few are missing their estimates. This is absolutely endemic of what is actually occurring at the moment. The economy is really strong, and the Fed knows that. Also, we've seen a decline in the break-even inflation rate, both the 10-year and the 5-year. This is good for the stock market. We can see the Fed balance sheet just wavering, going up and down, but it's still on an upward trajectory. We can see the money stocks still going up, the CPI still going up. And what we actually understand, this is just part of the business cycle. One thing that I like to help people with is to understand the underpinning smart money dynamics of the markets that you trade in, whether the stock market or the crypto market. But we are of course focused on the crypto market. There of course is a bull market and a bear market, and the bull market is all about optimism and prices going up. The bear market is all about pessimism and prices going down. But there is actually a BORSOG market that exists underneath the bull market and the bear market. And the BORSOG market is always profitable. But what the heck is the BORSOG market? The BORSOG market is buy on red, sell on green. This is rule 621, and we whacked this into an NFT. And there's BORSOG, the price eagle, telling us to buy on red and to sell on green. And you can do this and do very, very well on it. I've had so many community members reach out and said, Ken, I just turned a 7% profit, 8% profit, 9% profit just overnight in the span of a couple of hours. And you can see when everybody was leaving, we're entering. We're like firefighters. We're very fearless, but we have the equipment and the mental strength to go into a falling market. This is all about Rule 359, be on the right side of the percentage. You only need to make a small percentage return every sort of week or so, and you will find that your portfolio does incredibly well. For example, if you had 1,000 and you were just getting 10% per week, but this requires a lot of knowledge and a lot of rules. In the stock market, you have patterns. In the crypto market, you have rules. They're very, very different markets because crypto is exponential. It's like the pond. It covers 50%, the algae covers 50% of the pond on the 29th day. Things seem really, really slow, non-existent, and then they explode. That's exponential price action. It's unlike anything that we see normally in Forex or the stock market. We need to have patience. We must have this real wealth perspective, and we must BORSOG. BORSOG is one of the most profitable things that you can ever learn. And even if you're only in the stock market, if you BORSOG, you will be better off because that's what the institutions do. You can see here in this particular case, this is just the return of 10% across a week. And that actually, if you just reinvested all of that and just kept on turning it over at 10%, you would get an annualized return of 117.4x. This is really, really valuable, because a lot of people say when they enter crypto, I need 100x, I need 10x, I need 5x, I need 50x, whatever it is. You can do it from 10%, but you must have the knowledge. And the knowledge will take you time to get up. If you think without the knowledge that you can just borsog and be profitable, you may fluke it a couple of times, but unless you have the underpinning knowledge, you will eventually fail at it. You must have knowledge. It's just like everything. You wouldn't rely on luck if you were a doctor doing surgery or an accountant doing someone's books. You would actually have the knowledge, and the more knowledge you have, the more of a blessing you can be in other people's lives. So let's see what happened to Bitcoin. What's this? Look at that. It was spiking down, and it actually found a level of support here in B. Many people thought it would go down to B. And what happened? It came roaring back up to A and actually passed this level of resistance. And that will act as a level of support right now as well. So we're in area A. Well done, everybody that thought that B-A combination would happen. We talk a lot about the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ's price action is in white. You see the NASDAQ spiked up. Why did it spike up? A lot of people say it was Elon Musk. No, it wasn't Elon Musk. Not at all. Well done for Elon's takeover of Twitter, but that's not how the financial market works. The financial market works as a very, very complex organism. Simply the VIX was oversold and it just needed to retrace. It's done a healthy correction now. It's probably reset the markets. This is fantastic. And Elon's $44 billion takeover of Twitter was, of course, really welcome news. But it was one component in a very wide-ranging, very complex network of interdependent variables. Let's check out our shorts and our longs. The longs are getting much, much more confident. They believe the bottom is in and they're going for it. And the shorts are saying, oh, damn you longs, you're just taking all my money. And they're saying, well, we're not so confident anymore. We'll just come out a little bit. But the shorts and longs are like yin and yang. They always move together. One heats the market up when it's too cold, and it's way too cold at the moment, and the shorts cool the market down when it's too hot. Both are required. They exist in symbiosis. Let's have a look at how the liquidations went. We can see that the trading volume is quite high in terms of what it was across the weekend. We've seen 384.47 million in liquidations across nearly 107,000 positions. Across the past 24 hours, we've seen around 60% of liquidations being long liquidations. Note that this means both longs and shorts are getting liquidated. What about the past hour? Yow, the shorts are getting it. The past 4 hours, nearly 88% shorts. Ooh, they were in pain then. And 12 hours, about 86%. What you can see is things turned around. We know as crypto technical analysts, Rule 114, markets penalize certainty. If people are absolutely certain something is going to happen, the market will whack you. It's just, we see it all the time and time again. And over many, many decades, you just form a rule of it and you say, oh, people are becoming very certain right now. Things are going to turn around. Okay, let's get back to it. And let's have a look. Yeah, we're getting fairly significant volumes here, but you can see that both longs and shorts are getting liquidated. It's never one side or the other. It's very, very risky to go either long or short in the market. You must know what you're doing. I love to show you the Crypto Fear and Greed Index in this way because it helps you to understand the interplay, the relationship between fear and greed and Bitcoin's price. But why are we looking at Bitcoin's price? Because Bitcoin controls the crypto market. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. When we understand that, we must look first to Bitcoin. This is one of those key pieces of knowledge that you learn by walking up all these staircases, and it's worth it to walk up the staircases of knowledge in the crypto space. I believe crypto technical analysis can become one of the highest paid professions in the world. Highly paid professions are not given. They're based on science. They're hard work, but it's worth it. And professions do not rely on luck, they rely on science. What we can see here, when we've got more and more and more fear in the market, prices come down. So we can use Crypto Fear and Greed Index as a bit of a understanding how things will be actually turning around. When we get big doses of optimism into the market, what do we see? Big changes in price. Big lots of fear. You can see prices always moving in a wave, up and down, up and down, up and down, because it's driven by fear and greed, or fear and optimism. I like to say optimism. Many people, when they enter the crypto market, they want to apply technical analysis, drawing support and resistance and trend lines into Bitcoin, and think that it obeys stock market and Forex, TA. It doesn't. It's all exponential. Things can absolutely explode to the upside or to the downside. That's that exponential 29th day action. You have to be very, very careful about your understanding of how crypto works. A lot of people have a lot of trouble when they come from the stock market into crypto due to that reason. When you learn the CTKS method, you ignore patterns. What you're looking for is confluence, where you can apply your rules. And one rule is, we love to buy long tail falling knives. We're in when price is plummeting down. We're saying, "Ooh, that looks very nice. BORSOG is about to take to flight." But we're also detectives and we're scientists. When we look at the crypto market, we look to see if the market has upward price momentum, and it does. When we look at futures open interest, we can see there's a very strong degree of directional correlation between futures open interest. When it moves up, Bitcoin's price moves up. When it comes down, Bitcoin's price comes down. This is a really, really good data point for us to look at. We can see we crossed over resistance, and we've done it several times, and we've got an uptrend in here. That means that the longs are reasonable in their assertion of growing optimism. We can see it here. Just always keep your thinking. The price moves in waves. That's rule 4. It's very important to understand this rule. And also that we make in advance probabilistic choices. We know what we're going to do. If the price goes in our direction, goes against our direction, or just doesn't do anything and goes, it's boring. We don't care about any of these things because we have strategies to cover all three. Let's have a look at the market's focus. Over the past 7 days, APE has come up 53%, CRV nearly 26%, Kava 22%, SNX about 13%, Doge has come up 10%, Luna nearly 7.5%, well, nearly 8%, TRX about 6%, Icon about 6%, Cake about 6%. What we see here is the market gives different cryptos different levels of attention, and it can give a spike of attention like this, and these spikes are generally unsustainable. Be careful of these kind of spikes. Sharp angles reflect is a rule that we use. Remember, in crypto we use rules, we don't use patterns. You could say, oh, this is a pattern, Ken, but it's only a pattern after it's occurred. When you look at this exponential price explosion, we can predict a price implosion as well. Just like here, down, here. You've got to keep a really good eye on your rules. And we share a lot of those rules inside the masterclass, of course. When we see Ape is really going for it, and we know that Ape should have some momentum carrying forward at least for the next 4 days. So this could be interesting. But does it mean we're safe? We can get in, we're certain? There is no certainty inside financial markets. Always buy at lower levels of support and just mark up your charts correctly. One thing to pay attention to, this white line is Bitcoin's price action. When Bitcoin comes down, notice that the entire market goes down with it. When it comes up, the entire market goes up. What you will find is certain cryptos over and under exaggerate Bitcoin's directional price momentum. This is what causes this. And what we saw 12 hours ago was a sell-off like this. It's very, very interesting to follow this. It's almost like a geological structure of some sort. Let's turn our attention to the top cryptos. What I've been saying for quite a while now is because the VIX was underextended, I expected some sort of spike down here, maybe one of these long tail wicks. It's quite potential that we've had that now, and that is all over. But we always know there's no certainty. But things are looking relatively good. Don't forget that we're in the expansion sector of the economic cycle, and most companies are beating their earnings, which will actually push prices up in the main stock market. So just keep that in mind. We're not facing any form of financial implosion just yet. Financial implosions happen, and when they do, we all have to accept it. But so far, so good. So does it mean that we're certain that price has made a bottom? We can never be certain, and if you're trapped in certainty, you're going to throw yourself into zone 1 and zone 2, which are very, very stressful zones. We always say that we can always buy lower. We set our buy orders, and we just wait for them to be patiently filled. Always remember, buy on red, sell on green, rule 621. When we look at Ethereum bounced back because Bitcoin's gravity pulled it back. And that's what we know about the gravitational pull of the crypto market. What happened to your beloved altcoin? Bitcoin happened to your beloved altcoin. A lot of people will say, oh, with Doge has just shot up 20+%, and it's got nothing to do with Bitcoin. I can tell you, if Bitcoin was coming down, Doge would be under pressure. But that doesn't mean it couldn't have had a spike. Dogecoin is very well loved by its community, so of course there would be a specific spike. But if you're coming down in a cascading like this, it's very hard to maintain those spikes. You can think about it the other way. When the market is coming up and there's good news, and Elon is really, really good at timing his news. We've seen this over many years. Elon's an expert at market timing. He doesn't actually cause the markets to turn, as some people think. Sorry, Elon, you don't. The markets are far, far too complex for one person to move them. But Elon's an absolute genius at picking the right times. And it's not hard to tell when those times are if you have that high level of understanding of the markets. And Elon certainly has that understanding. I can only say good on you, Elon. Okay, Binance Coin. We saw the sharp sell-off, which was Bitcoin's gravity, and the uptake, which was Bitcoin's gravity, and then the interdependence between Bitcoin and the main markets. XRP sold off strongly below its support and then regained it. Well done, XRP. This is always the case. When you actually look at cryptos, you can see this exponential explosion, implosion. It happens all the time, so it's very important not to get shaken out of positions when you get a violation of a trend line. But coming from a stock market and Forex background, that's really easy to strictly obey technical analysis to your detriment. It happens all the time, and it's not anyone's fault. It's just that the markets are not in abeyance of those lines. The institutions crack those lines all the time. Smart money uses those lines against retail investors and traders, and that's why in this particular channel we try to show you the smart money mindset, to show you how they do things and not to get shaken out. Let's have a look at ADA. ADA spiked down very, very nicely. There were some nice BORSOG levels in there and then shot up. And we can see exactly the same in Solana. Shot down, shot up. Look at Luna. Luna is absolutely going for it. Luna is just so strong. Well done, Luna. And we can see AVAX shot below that support line. And this is why we always say you can always buy lower. If you decided to enter AVAX around this time, you would have had your buy orders at levels of support below, and also some 10-5-10 levels to capture these long tail spikes. They always happen in crypto. You're dealing with exponential price action. That's the key. Remember the pond. 29th day, it covers 50% of the area. Let's look through some community favorites. We can see Gala came down with Bitcoin's gravity, but then came up. It's a little bit suppressed at the moment. I think that's because Ape is just taking all the money from the Metaverse and NFT plays at the moment. But things will readjust in time. Let's have a look at Matic. Matic is being very spiky at the moment, and we've seen this quite a few times. Icon has recovered incredibly well. It's sold down one of those long tail spikes. They're the spikes that we love, and came back. Icon is looking really strong, and that's not surprising because a lot of outlets are actually starting to accept Icon payments, ICX payments, for traditional real world goods and services. Wow, go Icon. Let's have a look at VRA. VRA had that kind of long tail spike down. This is why we say you can always buy lower. It's a philosophy to trade in crypto, not a strict set of rules on patterns and what have you. It's very, very different from the stock market. The stock market is all about, oh, I've got a cup and handle pattern here, or I've got a head and shoulders pattern here. It's exponential, 29th day price action. It's different. We just mark up our charts with the CTKS methodology and then understand the price will reveal itself to us through exponential price action, and we get a very good understanding as to where that might be. But we apply the rules. I've seen so many people apply various patterns into things and then it all goes south on them. This is not the stock market, it's the crypto market. It requires completely different rules. And those rules are taught all the way through the masterclass components. I thought it could be interesting to track Rose because of its Coinbase listing. We can see a very big uptake. And what happens, the Coinbase effect? Generally, you'll get a really big spike up. But are we certain of that? You know, there's no certainty in the crypto market, in any financial market, but even less in crypto. What we actually just can only go on the probabilities that we'll get a spike up. So let's have a look and let's track this. Let's have a look at Rune doing a spiky thing just like everybody else is doing. All these cryptos are like people. Let's have a look at IOTA. IOTA doing the spiky thing again. Oh, we've got a McDonald's symbol. Hope it's not ominous. Oh, that's a new word. Okay, DOT, what we can see, it's just following Bitcoin's price action. When Bitcoin starts to get its act together and it starts to go up, not by equal constant amounts, but by exponential price action like this, it's going to absolutely pull the rug underneath the feet of a lot of people. I keep on mentioning the markets are healthy. Because the main markets are healthy, because we've got so many beats in estimates and earnings, it's looking really good. A lot of people say, oh no, it's overextended. If the earnings were missing, I'm with you, absolutely. We've got to take corrective action. But the underpinning foundational health is still intact. Many people watch the main news services and say, but I saw this particular expert talk about Bitcoin going to $5, and I believe him because he was on TV. And you just say, wow, we've got a rule for that. That rule is Rule 173, be independent from the news. The news basically just shows people fear and greed. And it's just one form of fear or another. Fear, uncertainty and doubt, or fear of missing out, either FUD or FOMO. When you are independent of the news, you actually have the knowledge. It's all about having the knowledge. Let's quickly bolt through the metaverse. What we can see is SAN coming down to a level of support. We can see Axie Infinity a little bit weaker, but recovering as Bitcoin's price action moves. But we've seen a bit of weakness recently in Axie. Decentraland, a bit of weakness too. we can now point towards Ape and say, Ape, you're taking all the money out of Mana and Sand and Axie, you naughty Ape. But that's okay. Everybody deserves their time in the sun, for sure. Let's have a look at Near. Near is starting to break down. It couldn't get above that level of resistance. Now it's starting to come down. Does that mean it's going to keep on coming down? Potentially yes, because we don't have a lot of support around this level. We did touch it and bounce, absolutely. And if Bitcoin actually keeps on coming up, that may turn Near's fate around for it. But we absolutely know the price moves in a wave. It's always going up and coming down, going up and coming down. This is just the nature of the crypto market. What about Engine Coin? Engine Coin is just doing what Bitcoin is doing. Ape is a bit of an animal, excuse the pun. It's doing really, really well, and it's over-exaggerating Bitcoin's price action. It's doing another leg up. It's going to make a lot of people happy. Well done, Ape. One thing to note is how investors and traders actually view the market when the market changes sentiment. What we've seen here is Bitcoin's price action coming down for quite a period of time, and Ape's done quite well recently. Ape could continue to rise, and we've seen a 4-day window where that would be very reasonable to expect that. But please keep in mind, when we see other beaten down Metaverse plays, people will look at Ape and say, wow, that looks a bit overextended. Maybe I'll get into Mana. Maybe I'll get into Sand or Axie or SLP. Just keep that in mind. That's always what I call changing of the guards. That happens. Let's have a look at Chiliz. Chiliz has found its area of support and bounce back. These long tail rejections are what we live on inside the community. We say you can always buy lower, and that's a very, very important rule. When we point out any particular crypto that looks good, we always place lower buy orders in. That will save you an absolute fortune. What typically people do when someone says, oh, this is really good, they go all in and more. They light switch, and then the price moves down and they say, oh, I got it wrong, I need to get out. And then the price goes up and it says, oh no, I was right, I need to get in. And then they buy at that higher price, and then the price goes down again. The way to get around this is to buy at levels of support lower down, even 10-5-10 levels if you can do so. And then just wait really patiently for those buy orders to be filled. And when looking at SLP, it's following a similar sort of line to Axie Infinity, and that's not surprising because the two are related. But when things get overextended like this, remember, price is always moving in a wave, always up and down. You want to be on the right side of that percentage. Professionals buy at increasing losses. This actually perplexes most investors and traders because they say, but hang on a sec, I'm here to make a profit. I can only make a profit when the price is going up, so they buy on green. You can see it's a philosophical thing, but professionals do the opposite. But only about 5% of people can train their minds to think in that direction. That's why so few make it. And our community is all about increasing the financial blessings for yourself and those you love, but also contextualizing success in terms of real wealth. Money comes later after you actually just keep on applying the right rules to things. The question for today, and well done everyone on your answers yesterday, some really, really good discussions, and everyone who said, Poppy, you're an absolute legend. For today, and looking forward to the next 24 hours, where do you think Bitcoin's price is going to end? Do you think it will still remain in A, go to C, go to B, go to E, or go to D? It's a really good thing to actually just keep on reinforcing and enhancing how you look at the market. It's very, very powerful and incredibly profitable because you know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. So your beloved alts are tied to Bitcoin's fate. So predicting where Bitcoin could potentially go is helping you understand where your beloved alt could go as well. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you as part of our globally extended family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for mentoring masterclass students, and of course a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use and also the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass and our NFTs. Please reach out to an ambassador to get 80% off. Just go through this link in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenario. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.